What's up everyone and welcome to a new Minecraft snapshot. Today we are checking through Minecraft snapshot 19w34a, the first snapshot for Minecraft 1.15, and I don't think I'm alone saying that this is a surprise, because I thought 1.15 snapshots should roll out after Minecon, but the devs says in the update post that what happens when our dev team spends the summer eating nothing but honey. We get inspired to add new mobs, the flappy fuzzy ball that is the bee. We also got very sick. A balanced diet is important, kids. And with that being said, bees have been added into the game and you might see some fly around here. I can't really see any at the moment. There was a lot of bees here previously. Bees naturally spawn in the flowery biomes, so if you are in a flower forest then you can see bees, and there you can see some over at my crosshair. We have these big, very big bees that is almost as big as a player's head or even a little bit bigger. So, what are the changes in 19w34a? They have added bees, and bees are cute, fuzzy, and natural mobs, so they won't attack you. But if you hurt them, then they will attack you back. So, we can go into game mode, survival, and attack one of them, and you can see they get these red eyes. They attack you, and you get poison for about 10 seconds. And you can see they have this cool animation when they attack, so they go and sting you, and you can actually die from this. So it says that if a bee does sting you, it leaves the stinger in you. You can't see it visually, but it does, and it will eventually die dropping nothing. So don't kill the bees. Oh, there you can see, don't kill the bees, because they will die if they sting you. They only have one sting, and when they have stinged you, they will eventually die, so please don't do that. And here I have the bee spawn egg. And bees loves pretty flowers, and if we spawn in some of the flowers, on the flowers here, we can see that they stay on the flowers. And after they have stayed there for a while, they are gathering pollen. Let's wait and we will actually see how their texture changes. Here you can see they get these white and white dropping particles, and this is actually that they have pollen on them. And if we go a little bit over here, you can see that it's hanging something in the trees here. This is a natural spawning bee nest, and it spawns in the flower forest, sunflower plains, and the plains. And that little sound you might have heard that is actually when the bees are going in and out from the nests. And if you hold a flower like this, the bee will follow you. So to transport the bees, just pick up a flower. You can breed them with any type of flower. So let's find another bee over here. Like so. Okay, they might have been a little bit too far away from each other. But you breed them with flour and they make a mini bee, and I think these mini ones are really cute. And bees like nectar, and if they find any, they will get this texture after a while they have been on a flower. But if they can't find any, then they will go home to their nest, one of these, or a beehive. We will come to that later. So stay tuned and I will go through all the facts that have been released. If the bees doesn't have a nest, they will wander around the world until they actually find one. And it also says that bees don't like rain and they will sleep at night. You can actually see up here to the right that that bee jumped in to the bee nest. And if we do weather rain and time set night, they will actually, after a while, all of them will go into their own bee nests. So what are the bee nests for? It's basically a place where the bees can go into and rest. And here you can see we get some particles dropped from this block, and that is because when the bees goes into the nest or a hive, they will increase the level of honey in the block, and then it can drip like this, and it's a max level of 5 levels, and you can get these by shearing them. So by shearing a nest or a hive, you can get this honeycomb. But as you can see, when I actually do that, the bees get very angry because they want to keep their nest. So don't do that when they are inside. You will then see that the particles stop dropping and you cannot get any more honeycombs. And it's with the honeycombs that you actually craft the beehives that I have been talking about. So with some planks, you can craft the beehive. With this crafting recipe, any planks are working and we'll get a beehive. It looks like this, and this is a place where the bees can go into, and they can also store their honey in there. We can use the new command that copies the server-side block data and paste that into our chat. Now you can see here that we have a beehive, and it has flower positions, and it has a bee inside it right now, how long it has been in there, and what entity data that bee has. And the flower locations update when bees get in there, because in these bee nests and beehives, the bees share flower positions. So if they have a really good flower that they really like, say this one, then the bees will go into the hives and communicate with the other bees, and then more of them will come to the same flower. Let's use the debug stick here and change the honey level, and you can see when this gets up to honey level 5, it gets this golden little honey dripping out of it, and we can do the same thing on this, add up to honey level 5, and when it's honey level 5, it's when it starts to drop particles, as you can see there. You can also see that these two spots here on the side gets full when it's on level 5. On these blocks we can also use a honey bottle, and you can see they gets angry again, so don't take their honey, they really like it. With a bottle you get this honey bottle. This can be drunk, and it can also be crafted into sugar. So from one of these honey bottles you will get sugar and a glass bottle back. Bees are also really nice, so they don't tend to go to a bee nest or a beehive. They share, so they go between them all the time. They don't have a home. They go between, and they like them the same amount. But what if you actually want to pick up this without the bees to get angry? Well, that's why we have Silk Touch. So any Silk Touch tool, or perhaps the enchanted book with Silk Touch, you can pick this up. They actually get angry, but you can get this beehive. We can take this up as well. And now I might die, but we can get both the beehive and the bee nest. What happens when we die of a bee? I probably think a lot of you will wonder that. So let's punch it, and that one probably don't have a sting left, so it can't attack me. So let's add in a new one, punch it. You can see the sting there at the end actually. And there you can see I was stung to death. So as you saw, you could pick up the beehive and the bee nest. But even if you do this with Silk Touch, the bees will be angry. And then the campfire comes into a really good hand here. So if you take the campfire, you take a beehive on top of it, and some bees goes into that beehive. So now we have bees inside of here, and this campfire says that it calms the bees down. Place one underneath the nest or hive to keep them in chill mode. So now we should be able to perhaps shear this. So first of all, we will need to take up so it actually have full honey. We take that. The bee came out, but it did not get angry. So when you want to get the stuff from a bee hoop, like the honeycombs or the honey bottle, then place a campfire below it. Bees that also carry nectar, like this little guy, are actually a good friend to your crops, because it will help the crops grow when carrying pollen, and it's going towards its hive or nest, and it will touch through the crops, then it actually will let them grow. Oh, there you could actually see it. You see these particles? The bee went over it and it let that grow a little bit, so it is working. And now to some more technical changes, more about the dispenser. And here I have 5 dispenser, a block of water, and also 2 blocks of the beehives and 2 bee nests. And these are full with honey, and yeah, this is a water source block. Dispensers can now fill bottles with honey. As you can see there, we got a honey bottle. If we flick this, we get another honey bottle, and it can also fill water, as you can see there. And if you have shears inside of a dispenser, and keep in mind all of these are facing into the desired block, then it can actually shear off the honeycombs for you. So there you go. So what do we do when a bee is inside of here and we have a dispenser? Will it be angry? You could just see it went in there, and we are taking out the honeycombs, and no, the bee didn't get angry. So that's a really good fact to know. We actually have a bee in there, but oh, that actually disappeared. That's weird. Maybe dispensers do some stuff here, changing with the values. That's a little bit weird. So it's still a snapshot, as you know, so things might change and that might be a bug. But this is everything for today's snapshot video, the first one for 1.15. If you liked it, then please leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe so you not miss more of these updates, and I will see you on later. So see you and goodbye.